Hi, so my name is Christina, and this is my first video on YouTube. It is also my very first junk journal, and I thought that I would like to film it for posterity and also to show the new owner some of the details that they may not see initially when they first look at it. This is actually going to be a present for a girl who just turned 10 last month. I'm a little bit late, but I didn't get the idea until just before her birthday, so it took me a little while to put this together. I've been wanting to make junk journals for a while. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. There are a lot of great artists out there with a lot of inspiration. And this seemed like the perfect opportunity to try out some of the things that I had seen them do and see what maybe I have learned. So I may have gone a little bit overboard with this. I wanted to fit a lot of stuff in, and it turns out it is very, very chunky. As you can see, it's maybe a little bit much. It is a cloth cover. So it's soft and flexible, but I did put some book corners on it. We have a tassel over here. This leaf is a handmade lace leaf that I made myself. It's, nothing crazy, but I quite like it. And then it's got some silk ribbons, pieces of lace. This is an antique velvet ribbon that I got from eBay. Also included with that is a little necklace with a bottle of little sparkly crystals and amethyst pieces, as well as a little vintage ring that I found in a collection of stuff that I thought she might like to have. I've just sort of tucked it in here for now, but it's meant to come off of the journal so she can wear it or hang it in her room, whatever she likes. So of course the tassel comes off just to make things a little bit easier. We'll set that aside for now. Also on the cover is this cute little ladybug charm that I found in my vintage collection. This is stamped on just a little bit of cloth. It sort of twisted when I sewed it on, so it looks sort of italic. But that's because I was sewing it on top of some velvet and the fabric shifted. Tucked into the back is a little envelope. This contains a few extra bits of stickers, some lace, some fabric, and a couple of little rolls of washi tape so that the new owner of the journal can add things into it if she wants to, or use them in other places. Just a little fun extra bit of stuff to use. The closure is actually a piece of tea-dyed cotton twill tape that I had in my stash. I had the idea of, she likes keys, so I thought perhaps I would make the closure a little key. I simply sewed the band around at a few points around the cover, and then sewed the key onto the end. It comes out simply like that. As you can see, it's just sewn on with a little tab that helps pull it out. And then that means that it's adjustable and you can make it close more or less depending on how much stuff you have stuffed into it. As you can see, it has some bits showing at the edges. I really like that look. There's a lot of lace and tabs and things peeking out along the side, even a little bit along the bottom, but for the most part I tried to stay away from the bottom so that it would be a little easier to handle. So with that, let's look at the inside. This is just an upholstery fabric with some cotton, and in between is a thick interfacing material, and I just sewed it together around the edges. This is more of the velvet from the front. This is a beautiful Italian velvet with gold print on it that was used to make a friend of mine's wedding vest for his wedding. So I have some extras of that, and I will be using it as much as possible in books like this. Just tucked in here is a little message for her explaining what this book is and how to use it, and some ideas for things she could do. A couple of extra little bits of ephemera, and some information on an iPad or an iPhone app that she could use to identify plants, animals, bugs. I just thought it would be fun to help carry through with the theme of the book being field notes. So first of all, here's the first page. It's got a little charm on here, more from my little vintage jewelry collection. It has little tiny crystals in it. It's very cute. This little tab comes out of the belly band. It says "Find Your Magic." It's got a little glitter on it. I thought for a 10-year-old she might enjoy that. Of course, I'm quite a bit older and I enjoy it too. And it's just stamped with a little rabbit on the back and sort of graph paper, coffee dyed graph paper. This paper right here is beautiful and was kind of the inspiration for this journal. It's from Craft Consortium, the Emporium collection, a little paper stack emporium. It's got lots of bugs and herbs and interesting things in it. So that just slots back in there. More of the velvet as a tab. Right here we've just got a little journaling card, the snake, and a key. Again, as I said, she likes keys. Just a little coffee dyed paper. Down here we have two little slides I've made. Both of these were flowers that I found in my backyard and identified. These are the correct scientific names for them, typed on a typewriter on a piece of paper. They're just both cute little wildflowers, and I thought that would be fun. As you can see, they each have a little date on the back. February 30th. Yes, that was intentional. April 25th, it turns out, is her birthday. So I thought that would be fun. Let's just tuck right back in. We've got a little stenciling here, some lace that is sewn onto the edge of the page. And then this orange and red strip is actually washi tape that is holding on this little flip. It's got a little bit of a tea-dyed silk chiffon fabric under this label, and this flips out for some journaling space or drawing space or whatever she wants to do with it. It's got a little stamp and a little message, create. That just flips back in. Here's more tea-dyed fabric rather, with a cute little owl charm attached. More, of course, coffee dyeing, some leaf stamps. On the other side, more stamping, explore. This fabric is really pretty and I wanted to include it. I thought it went well with this little card, which has a kingfisher, a little bit of lace, some netting, some tulle, soft tulle on the bottom, and just a little spot to write or draw on the back. And more of that bug, beautiful bug fabric. It has a little bit of a sheen, I don't know if you can see that, and some little ants marching across the top of the page. Let's see. So down here we have a little flip on this corner. This says Delight. It has a little butterfly. Yellow is her favorite color, so I tried to include as much yellow as I could. This is just a printed vintage calling card or label or something. But the colors are just so pretty, and I wanted to leave it plain just so that it could stand on its own and she could write anything she wanted to in there. And it just has some more coffee dyed paper on the back. This is stamped underneath here as well, if you can see that very well on this camera. But yeah, so that just tucks back in. And I liked the way this went with this little printed bird, sort of a tea card, but just a reproduction. Over here we have a little altered paper clip that is holding this simple little tag in place. I didn't want to go overboard on decorating everything for her because I want her to be able to decorate things herself. So this is just a little bit of the velvet with some lace just sewn on here. This happens to be some information about 2 of the flowers I've included in this journal. One is we already saw on the first page, and the other is oxalis, which I have growing all over the place in my backyard, so I thought that was convenient. And this is a little card that I had from a deck that I own that I thought would be nice to include. She's very pretty. The yellow color is beautiful, and it's one of the new owner's favorites. And this is just a picture of Flora, the goddess of flowers. So it seemed very appropriate to tuck in here. So this right here is actually a concealed paperclip tab. On the other side is a notepad. It has a little bit of sequin trim along the top and some silk upholstery fabric sewn on just as a little decoration. And then this is a bit of tea-dyed lace. And underneath, there's just a collection of a few different papers. There's this one, which came from an old journal. Learn as much by writing as by reading. That seemed to suit. And then a few other different types of papers. Some tracing paper, coffee-dyed graph paper, a few others. There you go. And then it's just attached to a card underneath. I saw Gail do this recently, and I immediately went into my craft room and decided I would make my notepad exactly like that so she can pull it out and use it outside of the book if she wants to. And then it just tucks back onto the page, just like that. So this is just some handmade, very nicely textured paper. There's a little dangle attached right here. Just a little green bead. Some more stamping. On the other side we have a little tuck spot. It has some more of the tea-dyed silk chiffon, little butterfly. This is a little stamp from India. I just thought it looked pretty there, the colors. And tucked in here is this is just from a book about bulb flowers with a little message for her. Choose your own adventure. And the back is just some light colored paper that she can still write on or draw on if she wants to. This is more stenciling, a little bit of silk chiffon. And then this is an altered paper clip. I love these paper clips, by the way. They're very sturdy. They don't snag things as much as the smaller ones, the long ones tend to do. And they're very easy to get on and off. There's a lot of less fussing with it. This is just some velvet and some gold lining fabric. I like these colors. And this is holding this little item in place, which just comes right off. And on the inside is a set of pretty butterflies, just taped in with some washi tape. A little more velvet. It's an extra butterfly here and one right here too, with a little bit of bling. Just a little more sparkle because this wasn't sparkly enough. She is 10. I thought maybe she might enjoy some sparkles. And then that just slides right back on there. This is actually a page that goes straight through the book. I took 2 pieces of cardstock and misaligned them, folded this one down so that it creates a pocket here and a pocket here, and then the same thing on the other side of the book. So this is just a plain little tag just to show her that this is a pocket and can be used. I didn't want to put too much bulk in here. This is already thick enough as it is. In this pocket we have a little journaling card with the bug paper, some lace sewn on there, and it's just a little card that I got from one of my card stacks. It just slides in. On this side we have a little bit of a flip. This right here flips out like this. This is a little, obviously, a reverse stencil. Here's another bird right here, and then this flips out even more, and it's just some vintage printable sort of natural history drawings of eggs, and I loved these colors. They're so pretty. The pink and the green, very nice. So that just folds back in. This has got a little safety pin with pearls on it. You could also fold it out this way, and it's fairly cohesive. It just flips back in here. All right, so more stenciling here. This is a little bit of you can get transparent labels, like Avery labels that are white address labels. You can get transparent ones, and I tried printing some map, a vintage map onto it and putting it in. It doesn't show up as well as I was hoping, but it gives you a little extra texture. Here is another little dangle. This is a little wire branch with beads on it that I made. It's just been sitting in my stash for a while. More stenciling. This just has a little book page, vintage book page from 1912 with a little die cut flower over it, just to give it a little zhuzh. This is a little paper tab that I made from some cardstock. Just tea-dyed paper. In here we have this little bird nest. I thought that was very pretty, just a little fussy cut bird nest with a postcard on the back and a Welsh stamp, if you can see that right there, but that is the Welsh word for Wales. And then also here is an Irish stamp. They seem to go together fairly well. Inside of this is a series of die cuts and paper scraps and some little plastic baggies that she can put specimens in, anything she wants to collect, and she can use that to decorate the journal even more. This is the center of the signature. It's just one signature, even though it looks like a lot more. So this is the center. This is just a little tuck spot right here. And here are two more of the slides that I made. These, of course, are the oxalis that I was talking about. I don't know if you can see this very well, but these flowers are very pretty when they're dried. They're a little bit transparent. And these look almost like clovers, but they tend to be a lot larger than clover. So those just tuck right in here. I just made these with a 2-inch circle punch, which is why it's so close to the edge, but I punched it, folded in half, and then folded it over so this isn't an open edge right here. It seems to be pretty secure. Over here is some tracing paper on which I printed some vintage butterfly images. Then I put a beeswax furniture polish on it and heated it up to make it even more sort of transparent and get that glassine bag sort of look. And these are just attached right up here at the top, and they tuck right under there. This one's also separate, and the same over here. Up here, this is a double page that was sewed together. I don't know if you can see that. This is a vintage map of Indiana printed on some presentation paper, and then I aged it, folded it a little randomly and aged it up so it looks nice and old and tattered, almost burned at the edges even. But the new owner lives in Indiana, so I thought this would be an appropriate place to start for her adventures. And that just tucks back in there. I did sew a couple of charms onto the signature strings. This one says inspire and another little key. I did mention she likes keys, right? Over here we have a little tuck spot, little pocket with a cute little mole and another little rabbit. This I left very plain. I just wanted her to be able to write inside of it or put stickers in here, anything she wants to do. It's just nice and simple, and I liked the color against the blues against the yellow, and I thought it went really well with this little inked up butterfly on top of some more old book page over here. We have more lace, but it is sewn on the other side. And here's a nice little sparkly crystal dangle. A little fabric tab. It's a pretty color. I just liked it. And here's the other side of the little pocket flip page that we already saw. This one flips out this way and reveals. I love this. These colors are just, they just pop off of the page for me. This butterfly is very pretty. This is all glued down. This is a little card that pops out. And that has a stamp from Rome? I don't know. or Romania. I'm not really sure which. But and a little bit of bling. You can't have crows without a little bling. And this is just some trim. Some velvet ruffled trim that I glued down along the edge, and the back just has a little bit of journaling space. And you can see this paper clip has some nice iridescent beads. Again, you can't have crows and ravens without some sparkles. So that flips back over, and then the other side, in this pocket we have more eggs, nests, natural history sort of stuff with a little tab that I made. Journaling space on the back. Just a little vintage ledger page. Tucks right back in there, and again another little tuck spot. This page says, imagine, in case you couldn't tell, we've got a little butterfly here with just a little tiny bit of book page on the back. And then this used to be an earring, and I thought it was super pretty, and I love the dangliness of it and the color, so I just put it right on here just as a little extra something, and it seems to match pretty well with this color scheme, so that's why I put it right there. Okay, this is a nice simple plain little pocket. I didn't want to embellish it, zhuzh it up a lot, because this paper is so beautiful. This is also from Craft Consortium. And it's from their Riverside collection, I think. This is a little card that has tracing paper sewn over it. This is a little bit of dried leaf that my dad sent me. I live in New Orleans and we don't really get fall leaves here, so he sent me a box of colored dried leaves that he collected on a walk through his neighborhood. Yeah, so I just sewed some tracing paper over the top of this just in case any of these leaves fall off. And it gives it a kind of a cool look and a nice texture. It's really nice. And then a little more coffee dyed, very textured coffee dyed paper on the back. It just tucks in there. Here's more stenciling and more of the map address label. Alright, so this one is complicated. I love these colors. This whole page makes me very happy. All of the things on it are really nice. Okay, so this is a 3 envelope flip thingy-mabobber. I don't remember what they called it, but I saw several people make these recently in YouTube videos, so I decided I would try one. This is just from that bulb book, and it has, the first envelope has these 2 little tags tucked in. Very simple, just a little extra something. This one is also pretty simple, not too much going on there. Very customizable. You do whatever you want with it, really. If you flip this open, you have a nice big journaling space here. Observe a little bird, and then another little tuck spot behind the envelope here, and that's just got some bees on it. And a little journaling space with more of that pink paper. Goes really well with the paper on this one. And then if you flip this out, you've got more pretty flower images, a little lace, and this also has a tag tucked in. This one's very thick and sturdy. And then back behind here is another tag, a very long tag, shiny, with just a little spot for writing, journaling, drawing, doing whatever you want. Okay. Next page. I have a little stamp here. Here is just a little journaling card I made that I really like. This is a little stamped lace on here with some music paper. It says it's clearly a song about birds, so I thought it seemed appropriate, with just a little pre-printed card on the back that, you know, it's more birds. It seemed to make sense to me, but I love these colors all together. It's very vintage and muted, but still with a little pop of color. And that just tucks right back in there. Let me shift this over so we can see. And then over here, we've got a little decorated pocket. These are from the little mini book from My Porch Prints. I forget the name of the specific one, but it's meant to make the little small book, and I just use these tiny little bits to sort of decorate it up a little bit. This lace right here forms a pocket for this little tag. It's just got a little lace stamp at the bottom. Very simple. And then more tags back here. This is from the Craft Consortium Emporium book. It's got a little key and some nice shiny green fabric. These are little cutouts that you can get from the front and back cover of the paper stack. And I thought they were very pretty, and I love the pattern on the back. It's beautiful. So it just tucks in there. Here's some more stamping and a little embroidered bit of fabric with some leaves. Little Discover stamp, little birds, moths. I like my stamping. Here's another altered paper clip. This has just a little journaling card right here. This is from a greeting card sample, and the seasons in it I thought were very pretty and fun. Seemed to fit with the book, so just a little subtle stamping. Just tucks right back in there. It's just a little more of that green velvet and gold lining with just a little scrap of lace. Okay, and I love this little guy, this little frog up here on some book page. Back here we've got the back page of the signature. That's the other side of the bug paper. This is another one of those cards that I got from a deck. This is just about frogs and sort of what frogs mean to different people. I thought he was super cute and went really well with this guy. And that just tucks in there. This one is clipped and has a little stone dingly on it. She could use that for a necklace, or she could hang it from something, whatever she likes. And this is a little flip out. I love these colors. It's so pretty. It's printed on presentation paper, and it's just got some tea-dyed paper stuck to the back with a little polka dotted feather that I found in my yard. Just washi taped in so she can take it out if she wants. And it just slides back into here, and then I use this to keep it in place so it doesn't flap around. Okay, so then there is the last page, and this is partly why the book is so big, because there are 2 more books inside of it. These are 2 little mini books. This one was made with the My Porch Prints little mini book kit that they had, and I used the same dimensions to make my own book themed around rare creatures, because what's the fun of going on adventures in the wilderness and looking for bugs and plants if you can't also look for things like unicorns, fairies, strange and unusual creatures. So this is just tucked underneath this belly band here and tied in place. All you have to do is just slide it out. Just a little sparkly ribbon. I found this image of a book cover online and I sized it down for this and then put the title in. I think it's very pretty. It's got that lovely Art Nouveau style to it. Inside are just pretty paper for an end paper, and then we just have, you know, some sketches of strange and unusual creatures with a little bit of extra, you know, blank pages for her to maybe sketch creatures that she finds herself. Here's a merman, in fact, not a mermaid. This has 2 signatures. The center of this one are 2 images of the phoenix. I thought they were very beautiful. And here is a dryad. Just a little paper clip in case she wants to clip something in here. It's very pretty. There's the center, the division between the 2 signatures. These are just sewn in. You can see, just sewn in with some upholstery thread. The unicorn, of course. And the center of the signature is this dragon. I couldn't bear to cut the image in half, and I think he or she is very effective marching across the page here. More dragon stuff. That's just a little stamp of a dragon. And that, of course, is a wyvern, not to be confused with a dragon. And this is just a little image of a Pegasus I overlaid on the end page. And then this one is just made from the kit. I didn't alter it at all. I just sort of put it together. Not exactly the way that they suggested. I wanted it to have separate individual pages. So of course I didn't follow directions because, you know, where's the fun in that? This just slides out. And again, it just has some little botanical images, dried flowers and sketches, with lots of blank pages for extra journaling. I printed the images, the page images, and then I turned my paper over and printed just a sort of aged paper texture on the back so that I could have double pages with lots of space in between. There's the center of the signature. Just use this little wool thread to put it together. So yeah, and that just ties together. These are meant to be taken out of the book and kept separately because they do kind of add a little bit too much bulk to it. But this was an easy way to keep them all together in one place as one package for transport until she gets a chance to look at it. And then in the back, because this is a fabric cover, I took a little bit of thin chipboard, I covered it with some paper and edged it with a little washi tape, just to give her a little more structure in the back and also something that she could use in between pages if she wants to write and there's a lot of stuff on it. She can tuck that in to get a nice flat surface and be able to write on it without as many problems, because some of these are a little lumpy and bumpy. So that just tucks right in here in the back. And then I did include, because I was thinking practically, underneath the band that comes around the front, there is a little elastic loop that one could put a pen or pencil into, like this. Just like that. So that way she can take her pen or pencil with her when she goes on adventures. It's important to have something to write with if you're going to keep notes. And then, of course, the back is just plain. This is an empty loop, so if you wanted to tuck something in here, you can. When I send it, I will be tucking this in just to have a place to keep it. But obviously you wouldn't want to carry this around with this tucked in there. And more book corners, of course. So that is my first ever junk journal. I may have spent a lot of time on it because, of course, I haven't done any mask making. Every bit of embellishment in here I made specifically for the spot that I put it. It was a lot of trial and error. I watched a lot of YouTube videos for inspiration, then had to go back to watch them again because I saw them 2 months ago and couldn't remember exactly how someone may have done something. So thank goodness for the YouTube community and all of their really helpful tutorials. With any luck, I will be making more of these because I find I really enjoy it, and I finally have a purpose for all of the weird random bits of paper and scraps and fabrics that I have been collecting over the years. So I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully I'll be making more soon. Thanks.